They told you to wait. Wait for the right time. Wait until you're ready. Wait until it feels perfect. But perfection is the greatest lie ever sold to the human spirit. And while you wait, the clock does not. The world moves. Your future drifts like a ship unanchored, pulled by the tides of indecision. You think you have time. But time is not yours. It never was. It's leased, borrowed. And one day, whether you're ready or not, the lender collects. And on that day, all the excuses you once clung to won't mean anything. They will fade like mist in morning sunlight. What will remain is who you became and who you refused to become. You were not born to wait. You were born to become the vision etched inside your heart before the world told you to be realistic, to become the force that no longer asks for permission, to become so certain in your identity that the world bends around your belief. You don't need more time. You need more courage. The courage to face the discomfort of action. The discipline to move even when your mind screams, "Not yet." The belief to know that the life you desire is already yours if you stop waiting and start becoming. Remember this. Every person who built something legendary began in the same place you're standing now. Confused, uncertain, afraid. But they decided. They decided to move anyway. Henry Ford was just a machinist's apprentice until he decided to stop waiting for approval and start building an empire of motion. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times, but he wasn't waiting to get it right. He was becoming the man who wouldn't stop. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination until he created a world that redefined it. None of them had guarantees. They had vision. They had obsession. They had this fire in their bones that whispered, "You were not born to blend in with the background." The dream inside you is not random. It is your calling. It is your compass. It is the reason your soul won't settle when you try to shrink. And it will haunt you until you answer it. Not someday. Not next year. Now. You don't need the world to give you a green light. You are the light. But you must claim it. And that starts here. It starts with the mind. Because nothing changes out there until everything changes in here. The poor man waits for evidence. The wealthy man acts on belief. The average mind says, "I'll believe it when I see it." But the mastermind says, "I'll see it when I believe it." Every external reality begins in the soil of internal belief. And most people, they plant weeds in the garden of their mind and wonder why their life looks barren. You must rip out the weeds, the doubts, the fears, the program limitations passed down like family heirlooms. You must rewire the very code of your being. Start speaking power over yourself. No more, "I'm not ready." No more, "maybe later." No more, "what if I fail?" You've already failed if you don't begin. Reprogram your inner dialogue. You are not a product of your past. You are a pioneer of your future. And that future begins the moment you stop waiting for it to arrive and start becoming the one who creates it. Clarity is not something you find. It's something you choose. Most people live in a fog, not because the path is unclear, but because they never made the decision to walk it. You want clarity. Decide. Decide who you are. Decide what you will no longer tolerate. Decide what mountain you are here to move, and then move it. Because when you decide with full heart, the universe conspires. Not before. Your identity must become unshakable. Not because it's been proven, but because it's been chosen. You don't need outside validation. You need inner certainty. The moment you declare, "This is who I am," and you follow it with relentless action, the world has no choice but to adjust. And every act of boldness becomes a brick in the foundation of your becoming. You're not waiting on a miracle. You are the miracle. But you have to stop playing the role of the wanderer and step into the skin of the warrior. Because becoming is not passive. It's violent. Yes, violent. It demands the death of who you were. It requires the shedding of comfort, the breaking of habits, the burning of bridges to the old life. Becoming is a war within yourself. The higher self must kill the lesser one. Not with ease, but with fire. There will be nights you question everything. There will be mornings where the bed feels heavier than a mountain. But that's the cost of transformation. That's the toll for the road less traveled. And most will never pay it. But you wouldn't be hearing this if you were meant to stay the same. You are not like them. There's a roar inside of you that refuses to be silenced. You hear it in the stillness. You feel it in the frustration. You see it every time you look in the mirror and know you were made for more. That voice, that calling, it's not a fantasy. It's your future. And it's begging you to stop waiting and start becoming. Every day you wait, you drift further from the person you were designed to become. And the world will keep pulling you into mediocrity, into comfort, into numbness. Not because it's evil, but because it's easy. And what is easy is often the enemy of what is essential. Look around. Most people aren't failing because they lack talent. They're failing because they're addicted to waiting. Waiting for someone to save them. Waiting for a sign from the sky. Waiting for the mood, the motivation, the perfect alignment of stars that never comes. They've confused motion with meaning. They chase dopamine over destiny. And they die full of potential that never became power. But you are not most people. Inside you lives a mind that can command the universe if you would only own it. This is where mindset becomes the battlefield. Not a cliche, not some trend on a morning podcast. Is the forge in which legacies are made or destroyed. Understand this. The mind is not your servant. It's your master, unless you take the reins. If you allow it, your mind will convince you to play it safe, to fit in, to shrink. It will whisper lies disguised as logic. You're too late. You're too young. You're too old. You're not enough. But these are not truths. They're tests. And you must pass them. You must train your mind like a warrior sharpens his blade. You must flood it with vision so vivid that there's no room for hesitation. Every thought you entertain is either a tool or a toxin. It either builds your empire or breaks your spirit. So speak to yourself like someone who matters. Think like someone who's already there. Act like someone who knows their time is now. Repetition is the key to reprogramming. Discipline is the gateway to domination. Read, write, speak, visualize. Do it again, and again, and again, until your reality has no choice but to align with your new identity. And that identity, it must be built on belief, not borrowed belief, not secondhand faith, not something you read in a book and hoped might be true. No, it must be forged in your soul, burned into your bloodstream, etched into your bones. Belief is not, I think I can. Belief is, I will until. Do you understand the difference? One waits, one becomes, and belief alone is not enough. It must be paired with vision, not a daydream, not a mood board. A vision so powerful it pulls you like gravity. So clear you can taste it. So strong it terrifies the small-minded version of yourself. Walt Disney saw Disneyland in his mind before it ever existed on Earth. Steve Jobs envisioned the iPhone when phones still had buttons. Napoleon Hill spoke of burning desire when the world laughed at the power of thought. These men were not lucky. They were intentional. They didn't ask, "Can I do this?" They declared, "I must." Because they understood. You don't get the life you want. You get the life you're willing to demand. So ask yourself, what are you willing to demand of yourself? Not tomorrow. Not after you figure it all out. Now. Don't wait for the fog to clear. Step into it. Don't wait for certainty. Create it through commitment. Don't wait for motivation. Build it through movement. Your vision is the compass. Your mind is the engine. But your belief is the ignition. And once that belief catches fire, there is nothing that can stop you. Because when a human being locks onto a vision with full heart and no exit plan, they become dangerous to the world of doubt. They become magnetic. They become unstoppable. They become inevitable. And the only thing standing between who you are and who you must become is the lie you keep telling yourself about why you can't start. But I'm telling you now, you're already late to your own greatness. So stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for perfection. Stop pretending you need more time. The doors of destiny don't swing open for the hesitant. They obey the hands of those who knock with conviction. So knock, or better yet, kick them down. Because once you step through, the old life burns behind you, and there is no turning back. Once you cross that threshold, once you decide, fully and finally, you will feel it. A shift, a weight lifted, a fire lit. Because movement kills doubt, action silences fear, and momentum doesn't wait for approval. It grows stronger with every step you take toward becoming. Understand this. Discipline is the bridge between your current self and your highest self. It is not glamorous. It is not loud. It is the quiet ritual of champions. While others sleep, you rise. While others scroll, you build. While others wait for inspiration, you show up with intention. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. It's trading comfort for greatness. Trading short-term pleasure for eternal power. It's doing the thing even when it doesn't feel good, because you know it will be good. Every empire, internal or external, was built on the bricks of discipline. Not luck, not hype, not handouts. Discipline is your declaration to the universe that you're serious. Because without it, belief is hollow. Vision is fantasy. Potential is wasted. But with it, you become a force of nature. And when that discipline is fueled by purpose, real purpose, you enter a state no obstacle can match. So ask yourself, why are you here? Not just, what do I want? That's weak. That's fleeting. Go deeper. Ask, what is the mission that makes my blood rush? What is the cause that keeps me awake at night? What is the contribution I'm willing to suffer for? Because purpose is not found in comfort, it's forged in pain. It's carved out of your deepest trials. It's born when you stop asking, what do I want from life? And start asking, what does life want from me? And here's the truth. Life doesn't want your excuses. It doesn't want your fears. It doesn't want your careful calculations. It wants your heart, your sweat, your willingness to bleed for something greater than yourself. Purpose will carry you when motivation dies. Purpose will keep you grounded when chaos hits. Purpose will remind you why you started when everything tells you to quit. And in the darkest nights, when no one sees your effort, purpose sees it, and it keeps the flame alive. But purpose alone is not enough. You must combine it with radical action. Stop journaling about it. Stop overthinking it. Start doing it. The world doesn't reward intention. It rewards execution. And execution isn't about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it relentlessly. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb in a stroke of genius. He failed thousands of times. But every failure was a brick laid on the path to becoming. He didn't see failure as final. He saw it as fuel. And that's the mindset you must adopt. Failure is not your enemy. Waiting is. Because while failure teaches, waiting destroys. Waiting decays your confidence. Waiting kills your belief. Waiting convinces you that the world owes you something for just existing. But it doesn't. You must become the kind of person who gets up every day and earns their future. And that requires resilience. Resilience is not just surviving. It's rising. It's getting knocked down 100 times and standing up one more time with fire in your eyes. It's taking every no and turning it into a louder yes. It's looking rejection in the face and saying, you don't define me, I do. Lincoln lost more elections than he won, but he kept showing up, and he became one of the greatest presidents in history. Why? Because the outcome doesn't matter if the identity is strong, and your identity is forged in fire. It's not built on wins. It's built on what you do after you lose. When the applause fades, when the support disappears, when it's just you, your doubt, and your dream, who will you be then? That's who you truly are. And if that version of you has vision, discipline, purpose, and resilience, you're already unstoppable. Because once you realize that power was never something you had to chase, only something you had to uncover, you begin to walk differently. You speak differently. You think differently. No more apologizing for your ambition. No more watering yourself down to fit into shallow rooms. No more pretending that average is acceptable. You were not put here to survive. You were put here to create. to shape the invisible into the visible, to bend thought into reality, to take the intangible sparks of your mind and forge them into something the world can't ignore. Creation is your divine power. And yet, most live like spectators, watching others build while they question their worth. But the same spark that lit the minds of Da Vinci, Beethoven, Tesla, and Jobs, that spark lives in you. It's not missing. It's buried. Buried under years of doubt. Under systems that taught you to conform, not create. Under opinions of people who gave up on their dreams long ago and now wear their bitterness like a badge. You don't need more permission. You need to dig. Dig through the layers of your false self. Peel back the stories that say you're not enough. Tear down the walls of fear that were never yours to begin with. Because once you reconnect with that original power, the you before the world told you who to be, you become dangerous to limitation. You start to remember. And when you remember, you reawaken your clarity. Clarity is not a moment of magic. It's the byproduct of commitment. The reward for staying in the fire long enough to burn away the fog. Clarity comes when you decide that confusion is no longer your excuse. Stop saying, "I don't know what to do." Start doing, because motion reveals truth. Every step forward unveils more of the path. And if you keep walking with open eyes, you'll notice your purpose was never out there. It was waiting behind the version of you that never took the first step. And that step, it must be taken with gratitude. Not because everything is perfect, but because gratitude is the frequency of receivers. You cannot attract the life you want while resenting the life you have. Gratitude is not weakness. It is your gateway to abundance. It's looking at your struggle and saying, "Thank you for building me." It's looking at the closed doors and saying, "Thank you for redirecting me." It's waking up to one more day and saying, "I get to do this, not I have to." Because energy flows where attention goes. And if you fixate on lack, you create more of it. But if you lock onto abundance, if you speak as if it's already yours, you become a magnet for miracles. That's not just spiritual fluff. That's neurological fact. Your brain will filter the world to match your dominant thoughts. And your life will mirror your most consistent beliefs. So what are you focusing on? Scarcity or sufficiency? Fear or faith? Delay or destiny? Because whatever you focus on expands. And if you truly want to expand your life, you must also embrace adaptability. This journey is not linear. There will be detours, setbacks, betrayals. There will be moments that break your heart and bend your will. But adaptability is what keeps your mission alive in the storm. Darwin never said the strongest survive. He said the most adaptable do. That means you must stop clinging to how it was supposed to go. Detach from the plan. Stay loyal to the purpose. Because it's not about rigid strategy. It's about relentless spirit. You can't control the winds, but you can adjust your sails. And the ones who do, the ones who pivot with grace, who turn breakdowns into breakthroughs, who reframe failure as feedback, they become untouchable. They don't just survive. They rise. So rise. Rise with fire in your lungs. Rise with thunder in your chest. Rise with the unwavering belief that you were chosen, not by chance but by calling. You were not given this dream to tease you. You were given it to test you. To see if you'll rise when no one's watching. To see if you'll keep becoming when no one's clapping. To see if you'll walk through fire when the easy road is paved with mediocrity. And when you do, when you become that version of you who doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, doesn't fade, you won't need to chase success. It will find you. Because success doesn't follow the loudest. It follows the most aligned.